Hey folks, welcome back to Gaming Garbage, where we take a look at games, chat about the gaming news in the industry, and of course, stream for fun. Today we're taking a look at Gaming News Consolidated. This is September 29th through October 5th. Just to let you know, still got that frog in my throat. Just feel like I can't ever get well, but I am working on it as best as I can. So it's just slowly getting better, but I'm still coughing junk out too. So I apologize for that. See, just like right there. So we'll be talking about some future layoffs coming pretty soon. We're going to talk to you about the day before and the fantastic creators. And this is insane. That's a bit more of a deep dive. We're also going to go over the PlayStation 5 Pro enhanced list. It's grown quite a bit, so we're going to go over that entire thing. California signed something into law that's going to affect online-only games, which might eventually spread to other countries or even to other states. We're going to talk to you about PS5 Pro pre-orders. We're going to go over some changes with eBay. We're going to go over the Nintendo suing Pal World, and then we're going to go over quite a few Ubisoft games really quickly. And then we're going to talk about a PS5 Pro restock, just to update you guys for those that are interested. And then, we're going to talk about something new that EA is doing, which I don't think is just going to affect creating the games, but actually how games are going to be pitched to players. I think that's actually pretty interesting. Lion also checked out a game for us, and then at the end, we're going to go over games that are coming out in October. So actually, this month, and we got quite a few. Sorry for my cough, folks. It bugs me too. First, I want to go over the Helen hurricane. It's actually a lot worse than kind of generally what I'm seeing online, what I'm seeing in the news. And so I just wanted to update you guys. This is actually worse than Katrina, which was like 2006, 2008, I believe. And Katrina was really bad. It came right up into New Orleans, Louisiana, and completely smashed that place. Flooded everything. There was like over $1 billion in damage, I think, just in New Orleans, which was pretty insane. People were taking shelter on the interstates and stuff because they were high enough above the floodwaters. There's roughly about 1,400 people that passed away, unfortunately. But Helen is actually a lot worse. There's actually thousands that are missing, apparently. And Northwest North Carolina has gotten hit the worst. And it's insane. They actually got the most amount of rain. They got up to like 18 inches of rain during that storm. And we're talking about the storm lasting, 24, 48 hours, getting that much rain during that time. And that is just insane. Helen came in as a Category 4. And states like Florida are a little more prepared. They have different types of insurance and stuff like that. But to actually have, hitting over Georgia, Tennessee, Mississippi, North and South Carolina, and even Tennessee, it's just crazy what this storm did. And so, this vastly affected all of those states that I mentioned. We also have a biolab chemical fire in Georgia. I can't remember the name of the town, but this chemical fire, I assume has something to do with the flood, because it was very, very closely correlated in the storm that flew over, with what was left of Helen. But these people have to now shelter in place because there's chlorine in the air. And we're talking 90,000 people that have to shelter in place, which is just insane. Hopefully that's over by now, by the time you guys are listening to this. But it's just unbelievable. Tennessee also had a nuclear reactor that was flooded. And again, this is still from the storm, so they got to deal with that. And that's also an issue with power generation. And while most of us don't think that we have nuclear reactors, we still do. And honestly, I think the more that we have, the better. They're great for the grid. And then Georgia, too, I got a buddy over there, and they're without power until, at a minimum, October 5th. And then there's trees down everywhere. There's trees that have crashed through, he said one of his neighbors' homes, a couple of trees crashed through the side of their house and knocked their wall down or punched holes in it. And then there was another tree that fell on their roof and like started kind of caving that in and stuff. Like, and literally he sent me some pictures. I didn't have permission to share them, so I won't. But it's just incredible to see just the amount of trees and power lines everywhere. I mean, roads are inaccessible, and so a lot of these communities, they don't have help right now, and so they're taking time to band together with those that are able to try to help people clear roads, and just trying to be safe out there. But even in North Carolina, like some of these states, they can use boats to get around, but the water is so bad over there, and there's so much damage in Northwest Carolina, excuse me, that they can't even really use boats. Everything is just such a mess and destroyed and damaged over there. Yeah, it's just unreal. So yeah, National Guard's going to be put to all of these states. Most of these states too will probably be a state of emergency. And so far, DeSantis, the governor of Florida, is saying that they're doing okay, but even he's realizing the devastation in North Carolina. So yeah, your thoughts and prayers over there, folks. It is a mess. And two, I can't believe that it's not being covered. Okay, it's not being covered in newspapers. It's not being covered on TV very much. It's just kind of insane. Like even today, Tuesday, there are still people in North Carolina that need rescued from flooding. And this storm again happened a few days ago, and that is just unreal. So anyway, just wanted to update you guys on that because yeah, we should take care of each other, folks. We really should, and prepare for it too. Because yeah, today's great, tomorrow may not. That may always be the case. So let's go ahead and get into the actual news. So yeah, Xbox looks like they're going to be having more layoffs. Almost 400. This is all in the mobile space, and all of these layoffs are actually focused in California, Irvine, and San Francisco, I think. And so yeah, again, they're just seeing that that these jobs are redundant after the acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Activision Blizzard would have had their own teams, of course, to be able to do some of the same stuff that Xbox studios have. And so, yeah, they're just cutting those jobs. And they have been. I mean, they've got to be, at this point, they've got to be close to 3,000 jobs now this year, which just sounds crazy. But, yeah, they're working through their mobile department. It looks, too, like they're kind of cycling through all of their departments. Their AI, their gaming studios, their publishing, and now their mobile. Excuse me, they're just working through each single department and then laying off whoever they can. And I feel for those people. I would not want to lose my job right now and try to go find another one. It's getting tough. I mean, unemployment is 4.2%. We're going to get some more job numbers pretty soon. I think on Friday this week. And but man, it's just getting tough. There's also been millions of job openings taken off the market. I mean, we were at roughly 13 to 12 million job openings just a year ago, and now we're down to 8. And so we've lost a lot. So yeah, it's tough out there. So yeah, have a game plan, folks. If you guys are possibly thinking you're going to get laid off, have a game plan. The Day Before creators, fantastic. They're asking for your help again on Kickstarter. They're making another game. So The Day Before was a disaster with fraud-type marketing. They used look-alike scenes, fonts, and hints at Kojima, Silent Hill, and Metal Gear Solid, which was just ridiculous because it's like at a point we didn't even know what this game was going to be. When the game finally came out for $40, which I think was just early access. I don't even think it was an actual full release. The game was super buggy, couldn't handle 40,000 players. The servers were a mess. Tons of bugs and glitches, too, in the game. People are literally blipping through the walls. They got massive head syndrome poking through the side of a building. It was just hilarious. Such a mess. You can actually go online and take a look. So, yeah, it was barely a game. Trailers, too, were basically all a lie. They were just created slivers to help prop the game. And what's crazy is that, this was the most wish-listed game on Steam ever, which is pretty wild. And after 4 days, they shut the game down, turned the servers off. Excuse me. And Steam refunded everybody that wanted it. Also fantastic. And the publisher, Metona, I think it's Metona, also was refunding too. So they wanted to be able to cover everybody. This was a major loss for Fantastic and Metona. the publisher, and it's just horrible. So their new game, Fantastic's new game, is called Escape Factory. There's actually a demo available that you can download to take a look at it. The devs apologize for what happened with the day before, and they're trying hard to show that they've changed. And have they? Well, different wording is used for volunteers and interns, saying that, yeah, they're working on nights, some are working on weekends and all of this stuff. And there's probably not everybody. There's probably a few people that are actually paid. But again, and I gotta, at least appreciate their transparency. But it's getting pretty crazy when they say they don't have any volunteers, and then later down the line on their Kickstarter page, they actually have wording that says that people are volunteering their time. Basically, that's not the verbiage they use, but that's what's going on. The game still looks code-wise like stuff is ripped off from pay stores. So someone's actually already gone through the code, looked at some of these items. They've taken the demo and taken time to actually figure out if this stuff's actually ripped or not. And they're finding code from from like the Unity store. And this is a huge deal because, again, it's like, okay, how much of the game did they actually make? The game, too, is way more simplified compared to the last one. This is what we would consider definitely an indie game. And, looking at Kickstarter for Escape Foundry, they're asking for $15,626. Currently, they have about 40 backers. We have about 3 weeks to go as of the time you're hearing this. They currently have about $2,400 so far for their goal. Their stretch goals are pretty insane, starting with the 20K. This actually secures the launch of the game. And so what the heck does that mean? Doesn't 15,600 secure the launch of the game? Because isn't that what we're getting? But now you're saying that you have a goal that's 20K to actually secure the launch. So which is it? Do you need 15,600 or do you really need $20,000? Because if they the backers are going to get a code for the game, but again, is that going to be an actual release, or is that going to be more like early access? And this is not clarified on their Kickstarter page, which is kind of crazy. They talked too about Fantastic returning as a studio and actually being able to pay off debt or get the ball rolling on stuff. And so if they reach 15,000, yeah, again, is it not guaranteed? The biggest stretch goal that they have is $700,000 for a creator mode. And I'm assuming you would basically be able to play with the assets in the game and make your own escape factories. Maybe even let, since it is a multiplayer game, maybe even let other players play them. But I highly doubt that is even going to happen. I highly doubt they're even going to reach their initial Kickstarter goal to begin with. Their rewards for actually, contributing. If you contribute $20, you get a digital code for the game. If it's $45, you get a T-shirt with the name Fantastic on there. Ooh, I died. That sucks. Yeah, that was a tough level. That's why I have it up on the screen. $75 will get you a hoodie. $500 will get you both. $1,000 will get you both, plus a hat, which $1,000 for a hat. Man, I'm tempted. I love hats. And then $3,000 is all of those wares plus making your own monster for the game, which I thought was interesting. Be able to work with some of the devs and also the design team for art and stuff like that. And then $12,000. Yeah, $12,000. You actually get a dinner with the devs in Singapore. And I'm sure you have to fly yourself. So there's, the ticket in and of itself is going to be $2,000 for an airplane ticket. So yeah, $14,000 for most of us in the U.S. for an actual dinner. It would be interesting to pick their brain on some stuff, but again, boy, it's crazy. Like $12,000. Like seriously, that is crazy. There were other various rewards, like game codes or bundles of game codes. You get mentioned on their servers. You get mentioned in credits and stuff. You get a special title on their Discord, like all of this kind of stuff. None of that really gives a rip. Nobody really cares. But yeah, a lot saying right now that they don't trust Fantastic. Honestly, I wouldn't either. And who should? I mean, the day before was so bad. It was, well, we thought it was the fastest disaster ever. But Well, actually, yeah, I guess it was 4 days, but yeah, Concord was a close second, man. And there was way more money pumped into Concord. Unfortunately, we're looking at roughly, according to Colin Moriarty, we're looking at roughly $400 million, according to one of his sources. At that worked at Firewalk Studios. But yeah, it's just crazy. But with Matoya gone, does this actually change things? Because usually the publisher has demand, creates things, is making all of the decisions and stuff. And so Matoya Fantastic made a partnership in 2021. They released Prop Night, which actually did pretty good. They had pretty good sales on Steam, which was almost 1 million copies in sales. They continued their partnership and announced the day before. They had several delays, unfortunately, and finally the game released as the mess that it was for $40 in December of 23. Former employee, of course, they had dozens of layoffs after that because, the studio shut down, etc. A former employee stated that the founders were in complete control pretty much all of the time. And they were changing things often. They were doing whatever was popular, trying to copy stuff, follow the trend. And then, with all of that, it was just game development was a total mess. And so it wasn't really any of Matona's fault as far as we can see. It was just the fact that they supplied some of the money and they got deeply screwed on this. This also affected Hype Train Digital. So this was a publisher that bought the rights to a game that Fantastic made called Wild 8, and the backlash from the day before was so bad, Hype Train decided to change the name of the dev that worked on the game, and they changed it from Fantastic to 8 Points. And so if you remember back last year in January, people were actually talking like, oh, hey, Fantastic changed their name. No, that's not the case. Fantastic didn't change it. It was actually the publisher that bought the rights to the game. And so that's actually what happened. And I really wanted to set that straight because there were people review bombing Wild 8, which is disgusting because, again, we didn't necessarily know, but our actions, even though they're through a screen, folks, have far-reaching implications, and you just cost a studio or a publisher, some of their reputation and also some of their future revenue for their game. And the game currently sits at about 67. It's not like a huge game. It's like a survival game with multiple characters and stuff. So it's not like it's an amazing game, but still, I think we should be careful with how we feel about things and make sure that we actually have the entire story. Because this wasn't Matoya's fault, for the day before, and it also wasn't Hype Train's fault for Wild 8. And again, they were just wanting to separate themselves from the name Fantastic, and I don't blame them for that. I think most of us do the same. When we have someone that we know that we spend time with and they kind of start going a little crazy, or they start, like Dr. Disrespect is a great example. Okay, when some of that stuff started coming out, a lot of other YouTubers, to protect their own channel, just started disassociating. And that, I feel like, was more important than probably actually what he was admitting to. So again, like, this is not normal. Like, I don't blame Hype Train whatsoever for wanting to change the name of their, quote, dev that worked on the game so that they could get away with it. And honestly, Hype Train probably thought they could get away with that because, again, Fantastic wasn't going to exist anymore. So who was going to complain about it? But yeah, this was just a total mess. And so, honestly, should we trust Fantastic with this game? Probably not. Probably not. Fantastic has already had dozens of layoffs before. They are the reason why the studio closed. They're the reason why a lot of changes were made to the day before. That's why it was a mess. They're the reason why Matona Publisher lost money. And they were also the reason why Hypertrain Digital, even though they had made a good game, was getting some grief from other people simply because of name association. So, they're trying to come back, but good golly, like, who's going to trust them, honestly? Not me. It's insane. Let's talk about California. So they're signing into law that actually all digital goods that are online only should have a mark that says revocable license instead of revocable items. There was a controversy with Ubisoft's The Crew taking it offline. This actually shut down the servers too, but someone had actually made a lawsuit against them indicating that they bought the product, or they bought the game as a product and not a service. And even though it's a dead game, as a product, they should be able to play it whenever they want. Now, as far as we know, The Crew 1 is still offline. Ubisoft has not have that come back, but Ubisoft since has said that they will continue, they will actually make an offline mode for their other Crew games. This is The Crew 2 and The Crew Motorfest. Excuse me. And yeah, I find this actually pretty interesting because, yeah, Ubisoft has since changed that policy. And first they were like, no, yeah, it's just a service, like they should understand this. But I think this is actually a good thing when we have a state making sure that forcing transparency with companies, because there are some pretty nasty practices that happen in gaming. And it's all about, addicting and trying to get you emotionally involved and all of this other stuff. And that in and of itself can be pretty frustrating enough. But some some companies actually have some pretty scummy ways to get your money and to keep it, and really just to just screw you over, like just shutting a game off and just being like, well, too bad. I mean, is that really the type of industry that we want? No, we don't. We want some regulations so that these companies can actually be more fair and be more transparent with their consumer base. Yeah, many believe that, since they own digital goods, that they also actually own the game. And this is not necessarily the case. They really don't. Physical, honestly, isn't safe either with these companies. Because, yeah, if the companies still control online, offline, your physical copy can be dead. Like Concord's a good example of that. If you have a physical Concord game, it doesn't do anything. It's a dead game. And there's nothing you can do about that. So figure out which companies you can ultimately trust, folks. Keep up with the news, whether it's at my channel or somewhere else, or multiple channels. That's better, honestly. But yeah, if an offline mode is available for the game at launch, the mark doesn't have to be present on the product. And this isn't just video games. This is just music and movies and anything else. And so, and this doesn't just affect Ubisoft as my example. This affects everybody. So this law is actually a law now in California. And so if that is actually going to be a product, the creators have to put that on there, revocable license. Let's talk about PS5 Pro pre-orders. They're actually still available on PlayStation Direct. All 30th anniversary editions, the consoles, the Portal, the controllers, they're all unavailable for the moment. You can still get the Portal, you can still get the Pro, and you can still get everything else. Just the 30th editions are gone. Spawn Wave is a gaming news channel, and they have a panel of 8 people there, and he was asking those, hey, have any of you else gotten your pre-order? And none of them said no. Said, too, that none of them really seemed to care about getting a PS5 Pro. And so everything lately hasn't really sold that great for PlayStation. This is the Portal, the earbuds, the headsets, the controllers, their VR, and other accessories too. And now it looks like the Pro isn't actually selling that great. Now the 30th anniversary, that sold really well because, again, that's actually going to be limited. But again, I think the price point of just $700 for a Pro is just too high for most people, including myself. That just sounds insane. That's a lot of money right now. And again, that's almost 3% of an average salary in Japan, which is, yeah, oh man, that's insane. And so, yeah, if you really want a pre-order of the Pro, you can actually get one straight from PlayStation themselves. So you don't have to worry about scalpers. You don't have to worry about hackers. You don't have to worry about anybody scamming you or screwing you over. You can actually just get the game. So how nice is that? And yeah, same too with the Portal. I mean, you can actually buy these at Walmart now. They're available. But yeah, right now pros are $1,000 on eBay, and I think that's quickly going to change if you can still get your pre-orders on PS5 Pro. And this is why I'm really saying it, because yeah, I want the scalpers to lose money, just like some of them did with the regular PS5 disc version. It's like, screw those people. Again, it's an opportunity to make some money, but you just don't want to completely gouge to death. Okay, that I never think price gouging should be illegal, but I also don't think that we should have monopolies either. And when all of the scalpers buy all of the prices and they can just dicker around with themselves and figure out together, hey, this is what we want to sell the product for, like $5,000 for a 30th anniversary Pro, you're insane. Like, I don't know who all is going to pay for that now. Maybe some, but that is just crazy. I even saw $35,000 for a PS5 Pro. If I didn't actually see the screenshot, I wouldn't have believed it. It's unbelievable. So what do you guys think? I mean, honestly, it's like, maybe now do you still actually want to get a Pro if you can still pre-order it? Because, yeah, I checked as of last night, as of Tuesday night, and, yeah, you can go grab this. I also wanted to update you guys on the Pro Enhanced list, so I'm just going to run through these really quick. We already knew about some of them, but, yeah, I'm just going to run through the list, so heads up. Alan Wake 2, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Callisto Protocol, Crew Motorfest, Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, Demon's Souls, Dragon Age Veilguard, Dragon's Dogma 2, Dynasty Warriors Origins, College Football 25, FC 25, Empire of the Ants, Enlisted, F124, Final Fantasy Rebirth, The First Descendant, Fortnite, Gran Turismo 7, Hogwarts Legacy, Horizon Zero Dawn Remaster, Horizon Forbidden West, Last of Us Part 1, Last of Us Part 2 Remaster, Lies of P, Like a Dragon Pirate Yukimi in Hawaii, Madden NFL 25, Marvel Rivals, Metal Gear Solid Delta, Mortal Kombat 1, My Little Universe, Naraka Blade Point, No Man's Sky, Pro Baseball Spirits 2425, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, Redacted, Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil Village, Retrieval, Rise of the Ronin, Rogue Flight, Spider-Man Remaster, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Spider-Man 2, Spine This is Gung Fu, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Star Wars Outlaws, Stellar Blade, Test Drive Unlimited, Towers of Agabashba, I'm sure I screwed that up, I'm sorry, Until Dawn, Warframe, War Thunder, Wolverine, World of Warships Legends, Sayub VR, and Kayak VR Mirage. This is actually 56 games now that we have officially listed on the Pro list, and I'm sure this will continue to grow. But yeah, just some thoughts on this. Not a single one is Game of the Year. The Last of Us Part 2 won Game of the Year, but it's the remastered that's actually listed. 4 official remasters are being remastered. Let me say that again. Remasters are being remastered. So, they basically patched the game to make an official port of a remaster of an older game, and now they're going to make a remaster patch to improve the ray tracing and whatever else they can maybe do with the Pro. Like, it just sounds insane. 13 of the games honestly didn't do well. And so are these publishers trying to get more sales? Maybe. There's also 2 VR games. But can VR handle better graphics? It's already limited in scope with what it can actually get on the screen and run. And so adding and improving the graphics and ray tracing and stuff, I'm not really sure what they plan to do there. There's also 13 live service games. Roughly 50 of the games have already come out. And so do we really want to play these again with single-player games, which a lot of these are? That's kind of tough. That's a tough sell. Again, some of these are live service, but most of them aren't. They're just going to be these single-player experiences. And are you going to want to, play them again? There's no Cyberpunk. There's no Red Dead Redemption 2. There's no Helldivers 2. There's no Black Myth. There's no Space Marine. There's no Pal World, which Pal World has a release date. We know that that's coming for Sony. And so where are these other big games? If I was Sony, I would be talking to the publishers and developers and be like, hey, can you guys make a patch? I don't really care what you do. Can you just make a patch to just further entice and grow the enhanced list for the Pro that I want to sell? That would be great. Even incentivize them in some way. Throw them some cash. Otherwise, these other big games, you're just going to want to play them on PC if you want the best experience, and we all know that. All are PS5 games. None of them are PS4, which is kind of crazy. None of the classic titles. First-party devs could totally patch the older games. They could port some of the older games over. So they're still working through this. Like, we just got Dino Crisis is coming as a classic title, which is so fun, folks. It's frustrating, but it's a fun game. But yeah, maybe they actually don't want to patch the older games or make remasters of the older games, because would that kill their plans to sell the Pro? Or um, patching the or enhanced enhancing these older games for the Pro, would this actually kill some of their remaster plans? Because we know now that we're actually getting a Horizon remaster. We've rumored too that Days Gone is also going to be a remaster, and that more remasters are coming. And so why would they want to patch some of these games when they're just going to remaster them anyway? It's more lucrative if they actually just sell you the remaster instead of the devs giving you a free patch. You know what I mean? And so only 7 games actually that I'm interested in playing on the Pro, if I had the money, would be Alan Wake 2. Or excuse me, no, that's a different list. Games I'd be interested in playing would be Demon Souls, Dragon's Dogma, Dynasty Warriors, Origins, Lies of P again, because I actually haven't beat the game because I'm getting my butt handed. Metal Gear Solid Delta, yeah. Dude, I'm so excited for that game. I'm going to show it to you guys right here. Resident Evil 4, and then War Thunder. War Thunder, I think, would look pretty dang beautiful. And that would be especially Ground War, man. The flash of the muzzle and stuff and taking a hit. Oh, dude, it would be cool. That'd be kind of fun. But overall, it's a much better list. Again, I think the list will continue to grow. They should be incentivizing publishers trying to get more patches out for free. And Digital Foundry had a video where they actually went over with some hands-on of different games that were showed that they were able to engage with. I don't think they were necessarily able to play them, but they were able to watch somebody play or able to watch, like B-roll footage. And they were able to get some comparisons too and actually talk about what they saw. So I'm going to break that down for you guys soon after my little mini vacation. Let's keep going on with the news here. Let's see. eBay is going after scalpers for the 30th anniversary edition for PlayStation. I'm not even kidding. eBay is starting to take down scalpers posts that are being tagged or flagged. And this is after updating their policy. So as of now, you cannot scalp limited items. You also can't raise prices on any item before its launch. And so that's huge. So every single post out there right now that's a 30th anniversary, that's over with. They're also, this doesn't mean that scalpers can't go, of course, somewhere else and try to sell. Of course, they can still do that. But if eBay is starting to do this, I'm pretty sure we'll start to see some others that will start to do this too for their online marketplace. There is also a way to now report scalper posts due to these new policies. And so folks are jumping on this, and they're spending, when they have free time, they are just on eBay trying to find these posts of these PlayStation scalpers, controllers, and everything else, and just reporting these posts and getting them taken down, which is just crazy. Let's talk about Nintendo suing Palworld. Found out what the 2 patents are that they're suing over. An aiming mode with a button that's pressed for an action, which sounds like almost every single game out there. And then also a mode of transportation, something about on the ground, moving to the air, and back to the ground again. And so what the heck is that about? It's like you seriously patented that movement for a mode of transportation? Like, these just sound really vague. And the crazy thing is that these 2 patents aren't even approved in the United States yet. So they don't have a case. They're like, this isn't going to do anything. We learned all of this information from Yahoo Japan. So they actually did some digging and put an article out on this this week, which was nice. Star Wars Outlaws is actually now releasing on Steam because of the lack of sales. When it gets cheap enough, more will actually buy it. But paying for a month or 2 of actual, Ubisoft Plus is fine enough. Like, we don't need to be paying $70 for a bad release. So yeah, it was going to come out on Steam, but now it's just people now don't have to use Ubisoft Launcher. They can just get it now directly on Steam. And that'll be coming pretty soon if it's not out already by the time you're hearing this. If you're interested, of course, but I just think it's interesting how screwed Ubisoft is. Assassin's Creed Shadows, we know, is delayed until like February 14th, Valentine's Day 2025. And again, they're just seeing how bad Outlaws is doing, and so they want to polish Shadows and improve it, and deal with maybe some of the backlash too, because they've really had quite the mess around that game. I don't think anybody in Japan is really going to buy this because they've just done it so poorly. We also heard a little update for Splinter Cell Remake. Looks like it's actually going to be delayed as well, and so all of their games are tanking right now. And so, yeah, they have to be changing stuff. We also have a game coming, Prince of Persia 2026, and I think Splinter Cell Remake will actually launch in 2026 as well. But yeah, they're just having a brutal time, folks. They really are. But honestly, they deserve it with their business practices, with not really innovating. Even Mirage was a DLC that they made into kind of like, quote, a full release, which I played Mirage, and it's like, man, this is still buggy as crap. This is ridiculous. I'm just not interested in that. What I would like is actually a remaster collection of Splinter Cell and actually be able to play it on Xbox. I'd probably buy that. Okay, just like I bought Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3 collection. I'm waiting for the next collection to come out. But yeah, I would love to have collections that aren't on Xbox to be on Xbox. I would buy those. I'd like the collection to go all the way up to Conviction, because that's basically where it ended. I'd like all of the games. Also, in other news, Russia is looking to ban Discord. So just giving you guys a heads up if you happen to be in Russia over there. Probably doing this for better control of information, etc. Because, yeah, they're at war. And so that is still going on. But Discord is pretty streamlined for features and chat for PlayStation and for Xbox. PlayStation actually just added Discord, by the way. And so it's been good for gamers. It's good, too, for people just to click into something. It's even better than TeamSpeak, in my opinion, which I don't even know if TeamSpeak's around anymore. But, yeah, really good just to be able to hop in and chat and whatever and get out. Just very streamlined and simple. But, yeah, unfortunately, if it's actually going to be banned by your government, that's just going to make it worse for gamers and other, social communities. That sucks. Next, let's talk about retailers. They're actually going to get restock on October 25th for the 30th anniversary consoles. But it says consoles. It doesn't say Slim. It doesn't say Pro. It just says consoles. So we don't know exactly which is which or how much of which. The catch, though, is that it's now actually paywalled. They're saying that this is to stop scalpers from just buying them all, or is to stop bots from buying them all. But they're going to make some money, too. So Best Buy, you got to pay $50 for their membership in order to get access. Walmart is $98. But luckily, there's a free trial that you can use to do that. GameStop also is doing that too with their membership. Now, GameStop has actually done this for a while, but for other retailers to start catching on this trend, it's like, great. Now, this is maybe even going to become more permanent after all this mess is over. And again, this is just no guarantee. It's just opportunity. And so don't forget too that if you do these subscriptions, they also auto-renew, so make sure you cancel. If you want to be able to do that, you can use Rocket Money. This is not a promotion. This is just something that I use myself. And Rocket Money, you can hook up your cards. You can hook up your account if you want. You can hook up as much as you wish. But, yeah, they can actually notify you when things are going to be available for re-upping subscriptions, and also keep track of your spending. And also even, go to bat for you to make some things cheaper. So, like my actual Wi-Fi, for example, my internet for my house, I was paying probably $125, and they bumped it down to $55, which is pretty flipping good. So I was pretty happy with that. So yeah, Rocket Money, check them out. Free promote. I'm not getting paid or nothing. It's just a service that I actually like. Let's talk about EA. So this was interesting. So they had an investors meeting, which they haven't had in 8 years. And one thing they showed was that, they're changing games for the worst. They showed an AI prompt to their investors in the room, building areas quickly, and the user could just basically type in some text, and the AI would, the general AI would just build stuff, which, again, this is not AI. This is just a program, but AI is the new thing to get investors excited. You could also add NPCs, etc. Like they actually showed a pretty big model. But yeah, the idea would be able to use this generative AI with users in the game to create infinite content, to monetize, and to keep players playing. Like, just think of that for a minute. It's like this is Roblox on steroids, or Minecraft, or whatever else. Like, this is this is crazy. This is making slop easier to make, and then trying to sell it to players, and that's awful. That is just flipping awful. So this would be games like IMVU, EVE Online, Minecraft, again, Roblox, just being able to create content. These games already do that, but this would be just a whole new level. The system could probably also be used to make AI programs better and also help with future development of games. And so again, this is all kind of their MO of just trying to make costs cheaper, try to get more money out of your pocket. And yeah, this is awful. I'm not excited about this. We also learned there isn't going to be a Sims 5. It's Sims 4 forever, baby. They're just going to keep releasing content. And even if you look at the store for Sims 4 DLC, it is crazy. It is crazy how much is out there. And yeah, they're just going to keep it going. Lion Chaser, one of the guys I played with, if you don't know, also checked out a demo for us real quick. I haven't had time, and so did it of his own free will. So I really appreciate that, brother. I really do. He checked out the remaster for Epic Mickey. And pretty faithful remaster, pretty much the same game and design, just looks nicer, looks great, runs well. But yeah, the MSRP is $60, and he feels like that's too much. And so he feels like $30 or around there would be a better price to actually get the remaster. And I agree. Unless it's a total remake, remasters I don't really want to pay more than $30 for. So like Metal Gear Solid Delta, I could see that as a bit more of a remake because they're definitely upgrading things in the game, but they could also be doing some life improvements, which would be nicer, or improving some ease of access things in the game maybe. But that's no guarantee. But like for the Metal Gear Solid Collection 1, 2, and 3, no, I paid like $25 for that, and that was great. For 3 games, I was happy. Even with Tomb Raider that's on the screen, I paid $30 for Tomb Raider and got 3 games plus the DLC for each game. And that was a pretty good deal. And that's what I'm willing to pay. Actual full-blown remakes like, Silent Hill 2 or like Dead Space, I'm willing to pay more like $50-$60 for some of those. Because, yeah, it's more than just putting new skins on and calling it good. There's a little bit more effort there. And if they do a good job, I want to reward them for it. Don't forget, too, we also have Black Friday coming soon, basically in a couple of months. And so we'll see what prices are for different games and stuff, controllers, what's available to buy, blah, blah. I'm going to try to do that for you guys again this year. I did a horrible job last year, but hopefully I can redeem myself because, yeah, one of the videos I didn't even post. Lion let me know that, too. Later, I was like, oh, man, really? Yeah, I was just so busy at that time of year. But, yeah, I'm going to go over deals, see what they are, pick several different stores generally, and this will just be for electronics. Like, this isn't going to be cookware or auto stuff or anything. This is just going to be electronics for gaming, folks. And so, I'll keep you guys up to date on that. Lastly, let's go over October games this month. We got Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred, that's on the 8th. Silent Hill 2 for PlayStation and PC, that will be on the 8th. Xbox, again, will be October of 2025, so we got a year to wait. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero will be the 11th. Starship Troopers will be on the 11th. With this game, Lion and I are actually kind of curious and interested in, but not at the current price point. So we're going to actually wait for the price to come down, and we'll let you guys know when we actually pick that up. New World Eternum is on the 15th. We have A Quiet Place on the 17th. Mario Party Jamboree on the 17th. Black Ops 6 on the 25th. Dexter and I and Mahone will be showing that to you guys. Sonic X Shadows is also on the 25th. I think it's Clock Tower. I think it's supposed to be Clock Tower Rewind, not Clock Town Rewind. But anyway, that's going to be on the 29th and 31st, depending on what you're playing on. Veilguard is on the 31st, and the Horizon Zero Dawn Remaster is also on the 31st. So thanks for tuning in, folks, to listening to the podcast and stuff. Hopefully you guys are doing well. You can always follow me here at Gaming Garbage 22 over at YouTube. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. And, bell notification, too. it really helped me out a lot. I appreciate just spreading myself around YouTube and keeping you all informed, because it's getting difficult to kind of have some transparency and putting you guys first. I mean, that's how I feel. Some of these channels and some of these reviews, they just don't feel legitimate, and just kind of scammy. And so I was just inspired to create my own channel. So here we go. You can also follow me too at, let's see, Discord, Twitter X, and Twitch. Twitch, you can get everything there first, which is unedited. It's just, it is what it is. And I edit a little bit on YouTube for most stuff, not for everything, but, and it's not like it's heavy editing. It's just, it is what it is, folks. And don't forget to, we also have the Tokyo Game Show. Don't forget to take a look at that for Xbox. I will also be taking a look at the PlayStation side of it as well to see what else is there, if there's anything to actually report on. And hopefully, yeah, you guys are doing well with the storm with hell. And just remember, folks, that it won't be forever, okay? It won't last forever. Eventually, things will get better. But yeah, there's thousands of people missing over there, folks. It is a mess. If you are contributing money or donating money or resources or whatever, make sure it's to legitimate companies and corporations. You're not just blowing your money and getting scammed. You know what I mean? So with that, folks, hopefully y'all are doing well, and I'll see you guys on the next one.